I'm going to share with you the #1 way that I drive traffic to my email landing pages that I create out on Flodesk. I'm going to walk you through the process of creating a landing page with Flodesk. The #1 way that I drive traffic is using my blog with an embedded form on it. So I'll show you why that's important and how you can do that on your own blog. If you don't have a blog, I have another video over here that shows you a couple of different ways that you can share your email landing page out on Pinterest without having a website or a blog. There's a couple other ways for you to also grow your email list and drive traffic to your Flodesk landing pages. Before we get started with this tutorial, I have a couple of notes about what I'm using. So Flodesk is a paid service. I have a link for a coupon for 50% off your first year if you decide to use that. I make a small commission on that. So the reason why I love the method of building your traffic using your Flodesk landing page and your blog and pairing that together is that there are so many opportunities where you can then share that blog out to the world. And that can easily drive traffic for you. So, for example, Google traffic, if you are creating a blog that is keyword researched, Google is going to pick that up and you're going to be getting free traffic from Google just by having this blog post out there. You can also share that blog post out on Pinterest, another free way for you to grow traffic for years to come. Okay, I have one blog out there that I'm sharing pins for that I've created over a year ago, and that is the blog that continues to help me build passively and for free my email list that ultimately people are going to a Flodesk landing page and they're opting in to my freebie. So before you get started with this method, make sure that you have an idea for what kind of blog post that you want to create. You want to think about the freebie that you have already and think about how can you take a step back? How can you create a layer before somebody would go and get your freebie and opt in for that? With a blog post, you want it to be related to the topic of your freebie so that it leaves somebody wanting more and wanting them to actually exchange their email address for your download. Make sure that your freebie is in a location that is actually shared. So what I have here is I'm in my Google Drive and I actually have a folder that I put all of my PDF freebies out here. So yes, you can have more than one. And I just create a folder out in my drive and then you can see these little icons with the people, meaning that it's shared out. So I'm gonna just show you for this example. And when you right click on it and you click share, this is if you're using Google Drive, you can put this anywhere that you can actually get a link to that anyone who has the link has the ability to download and view the actual file for your freebie. So what you want to do is make sure that general access is for anyone with a link and then it's set to viewer. So you don't really want to give anyone editing capabilities and just make sure it's viewer. That means they can look at it, they can click on it, open it, and then also download it. And then you just want to copy that link and just save this link for later. So I'm going to open up app.flodesk.com. This is where I'm going to create the actual landing page. So the email landing page, you're going to go to flodesk.com. It's going to default going over to emails, but you want to click on forms. So now that you have a form, and let's just take a look at some of these examples that I already have created. So this one is an actual full page form. So if I take a look at this, I'm going to copy this link in a new page. This is a full page form. So you have a couple different options. You can create an entire full page form with Flodesk, or for example, this one, 30 Pinterest tips, is an inline. I'm going to click on this one. It kind of looks like a full page one, but this one does not have a link that I can open up in a new page. It's actually meant to be embedded on a web page. So let me go to my website and just show you what does this look like. So when I'm actually on my website, I'm gonna go to this blog post, and then as I scroll, let me just reset this. Okay, as I scroll to the bottom, see how this is now embedded in the web page. I'm just gonna zoom out just a little bit on the web page here. But see how this is just part of the web page, and how easy is this that somebody can just go to your blog and then without having to take another jump, another click to go to a full page landing page, because every time you make somebody click, you might lose them in between what they clicked on, where they were, what they clicked on, and like where they're actually going. You might lose them in that process. So I love having the ability to be able to actually embed this form right within the blog post, because they're right here. They just read the blog post. They just got a ton of value from this blog post. And now how easy is it for somebody to just go and put in their email address, right? So you have that, and then get my download. So I'm going to show you how to set up this particular embed form. So using Flodesk plus Squarespace. All right, let's actually create this landing page. So over on Flodesk, I'm going to make sure I go to Forms and then click on New Form. This is where the options are for you to create a pop-up. So when somebody goes to your website, and you know how sometimes you see those like pop-ups, I think that's really great for like e-commerce types of sites that want to give like 10% off, 15% off your first order. Otherwise, I really like the idea of using inline for blogs. So this is the one we're going to go through, or full page. So full page, again, you just open right into like another tab in your browser. It looks like an actual web page. It is an actual web page. The inline, the method that I'm going to show today is creating inline. This is creating value through a blog first, and then providing that opt-in at the end of the blog for somebody to put their email address in. Okay, so when you click on inline, you get all of these different types of templates from Flodesk, which I think is super awesome. It gives you a place to start if you're not sure. So I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to choose this one to customize it. And then what you're going to get an option for within Flodesk is to create segments. So this is just to keep track of how are people getting onto your email list, because you might have one freebie that's, for example, for myself, one freebie that is around how do you use email landing pages. And then I might have another freebie that is 30 Pinterest tips. And then I might have another freebie that has something to do with how do you use Reels to grow your email list. Do you see how all of those are sort of connected? And it makes sense for my business. But when somebody's coming into my email list, I really want to track how are they coming into my email list. So I'm just going to say test segment. But really, I have a lot of different segments already, just depending on how people are coming into my atmosphere. So I'm going to save that. So when somebody gives you their email and their name, they're going to be put into a segment. They're going to be part of like your all users. So when you send out an email to all of your users, or you could choose to send an email just to people who opted in through this form to get this freebie. So here you can just upload a picture. So I'm going to mosey on over to Canva super quick and just show you that you can just create what you want to do on this type of embedded form is really showcase what is that freebie that you're having them download. So I really like to use just screen grabs of the freebie and sort of outline it like different pages, and then provide the title and just a little bit of branding. So I'm going to download from Canva, and you can do this with free Canva. And I'm going to download this particular image. So now I have that. So I'm over back on Flodesk, and I'm going to quickly upload this image free mockup. Okay, so that fits really nice. Then the key with any sort of opt-in embed, like the blog post for you is already going to sort of describe how it's related to this freebie, right? You want the freebie in the opt-in landing page to be related to your blog post topic. So if my freebie is 30 Pinterest tips, for example, I'm going to make sure that I have a blog post that is related to Pinterest in some way. And then I'm going to go, oh, hey, did you like this Pinterest tip? Here's 30 more Pinterest tips for online entrepreneurs for how you can get started. So I'm going to keep it super simple on this part of the page. So we'll just repeat. You could repeat the title of your freebie, or you could just put a title that describes what type of value is somebody going to get when they download this. So yeah, they're going to get 30 Pinterest tips, but you could say like boost your traffic with these Pinterest tips. So something that is more grabbing, something that has to do with like the result of what are they going to get out of following this particular freebie. And then I really like to provide like a small description. And then the next thing that I like to do is bullet out what are they going to get, what's included inside of this freebie. So to do that, I like to use this website to search for emojis. So I just really like to have emojis to help me lay out, because there isn't really like bullet points or anything like that, any type of formatting. So I just like to use these to help me format. So then I just copy and paste. So once I have this, then once I click on the email address, you can add additional metadata about the person. So for sure, you want their email address. And then some people say like, okay, do you want first name and last name? I mean, that's super nice. If somebody's going to give you their first name and last name, maybe just the first name is required. So we don't want to overwhelm somebody with what is actually required. So you just drag and drop these depending on what order you want these fields in. So I'm going to put first name first and then their email address. And then you can say, okay, first name is required. Email address is of course required in order to join this. And then what interests you? So on this particular form, like you can choose, I just clicked back on the overall form and came to the form settings over here. So you can choose, do you want to even show what these preferences are? Like I said, that is related to the different segments that somebody can join. So if you want to know like, hey, tell me a little bit more about your business. And then you have things like e-commerce. I gotta update over here. E-com. And then social media only. Biz coach. Okay, so I can have different information about the person that is giving me their email address. This is a perfect way that if you have a really high level category that you want to put somebody in when they're joining your email list, this is a great way to do it. And then you get to just choose the segment that you want. So we just had, when we created this form, I created a test segment, but for this one, I would say whatever this freebie is dash ecom, whatever this freebie is dash social media. And that way, like, I know that they came in through this freebie and I know that they selected this is what interests them. But for our example, I'm just going to keep it super simple like this. And then you click on the button, and within the button, you can say you want to use things like, in their language. So like get my download, get my freebie, get my download, get my checklist, get my to-do list, like whatever your freebie is, you just want to put that inside of their language. So back at the form settings, I'm just going to click back on the form, and you can tell because it says form and message over here. I'm going to click on the message. So what the last setting that you want to set up here on this screen is when somebody actually clicks download, what message do you want displayed to them? So you can just be really simple and say standard, thanks for subscribing, but maybe that doesn't really make sense for you and you just want to write your own custom message. You can just come down, select custom, and here's where I like to say, oops, I gotta go back. Here's where I like to say things like, your download is on its way. Your download is on its way. Make sure to check your spam. Okay, so we're gonna do that, and then I'm gonna click next. So we're almost done with our embedded form with Flodesk. Should you double opt in? I say no. Moving on. When subscribers opt into this form, what should happen? Do you want to get emailed and notified? Like, I kind of like it still, like as I'm growing my list, it's still so special to me. Every time somebody joins my email list, I really love this option. So, I just keep it on. And then after this form is submitted, this is the important part. So this is where we set up our library, where we keep our actual freebie PDFs, right? And then we grab a link that is available to anyone who has the link. So you can display a success message. So this way, when somebody actually gets an email, because they put in their email, the very first email that they're going to get is the actual freebie to download, or you can just redirect them. As soon as they click submit, it opens up your freebie, which I actually really like to do. So I choose redirect to a URL. And then within this URL, I'm back here in my drive. I copied the link to this freebie, and then Control V. I'm just pasting in that URL. So it's going to open up in a new tab for them as soon as they submit. And I'm going to say continue. Now, because this is an inline form, it's going to give us some code in here. Okay, so a header code or an inline code. And the option that we're going to do to embed this inside of an actual blog post is you're going to use the inline code. Right, we are going to take a quick coffee break because we are zooming through this, you guys. It's going so fast. Okay, so I am on my website. We have our embed code now. Now I need to go to my website and actually add it to the blog post. If you have a different website provider, mine is Squarespace. If you have a different website provider, this is going to look just slightly different. You might have a little bit different widget, a different way to get to the back end of your website, but basically the steps are going to be the same for you, especially on the Flodesk side. That is going to be the exact same. So I'm over on my website, I'm going to click on blog, and I'm just going to show you with a new blog page, okay? So I'm going to start a new page here and a draft. So I'm not actually going to publish this yet. Okay, so now I'm in Squarespace. And you can see the little bubbles here. I'm going to click on the plus, and then I'm going to say code. So embed. I want code here. So I'm going to click code, and we don't want to display the source code. What we want to do, so mode is HTML, perfect. So when we go here, go back to Flodesk, grab our inline code. You can see here, if you're familiar with HTML, JavaScript, what you have here is a div. So that is HTML itself, and then a script tag. So copy, and then when you're over here, having it in an HTML editor, that's basically what we want, because Flodesk gives us an HTML code to embed here. So when you're on Squarespace, this isn't really going to show while you're editing the actual page, so you're going to have to just save this and then preview it in order to see if the embed actually worked. Okay, so I'm going to say here, and then you need to leave all of this the exact same. So make sure that the ID is the same, and then this relates to your form ID and the container, and all of this just needs to stay the same, because that's how Flodesk, when somebody puts in their email address, that's how Flodesk can track, like, okay, somebody submitted something through this form, and then they're going to take that email and actually put it into your Flodesk email provider. All right. So we do that. You don't need to do anything else here as long as you like the look and feel of this. It's more of an advanced topic if you want to change like the styling and stuff while it's embedded here on your webpage. You definitely have the flexibility to do that, but it's a lot more advanced. All right, so I'm just going to save this page, and now when I go to view this page, you can see that, okay, look at that. I have an embedded form right on my web page. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to expand it, and I'm just going to say Sarah Test, email address, and test this out, right? Get my download. Thank you, your download is on its way. And then you can see the page is actually redirecting, right? So the page is redirecting to the freebie PDF that I provided. So that's perfect. That is exactly what we want. So if I look at this test segment, I can see that the name that I put in there, Sarah Test, and the test email address, that all went through and saved into Flodesk. So Flodesk is where I have email automation, workflows, my different audiences with the different segments of who I can send emails to, and it's also where I house the actual forms for people to opt in. This blog post is just going to be the traffic driver. This is the thing that needs to be SEO researched, putting keywords in here that has to do with the blog topic on top of what the freebie is. So you want to make sure that this is optimized for Google and Pinterest and anywhere else that you're going to share this blog post, okay?